the importance of free speech.
The importance of free speech?
The importance of free speech.
Okay.
Basically just the whole First Amendment.
Okay.
I didn't realize I needed to pay for speeches.
Alright, is anybody filming?
I am.
In 399 BC, Socrates was sentenced to death. I'm sure you've all heard the name Socrates. He was a classical Athenian teacher and philosopher, often hailed as one of the greatest thinkers in philosophy of all time. Socrates was sentenced to drink poison for corrupting young minds. He believed in freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and simply freedom of thinking and doing what you want to do and ultimately being your own individual person. The Athenian authorities sentenced him to death because he was openly speaking what he honestly believed was correct. He was a teacher. His job was to teach. He taught what he believed, and he died for it. The fact that you know the name Socrates says something about him. Now, do any of you know the names of the Athenian authority that sentenced him to death for speaking his mind?
No.
Was it that jackass Caesar?
History has shown us that if everybody thinks the exact same thing, we make absolutely no progress. Every great mind that has ever existed had a unique idea. They wouldn't be considered great minds if many other people thought the exact same things. And before free speech was thought of as a basic human right, it took immense courage to oppose the masses. And hundreds of years later, America is now a breeding ground of new ideas. Countries across the entire world now accept the differences, and here in America we seem to embrace them. With the exception of a few countries, people across the world are allowed to share their opinions on basically anything. We aren't perfect. In fact, we have a long way to go, but it's still amazing to see how far we've come because people decided that there needs to be a change. Even if we all live to be 300 years old, and none of us would live to see a day where everyone was on the same page. And the same page that I'm talking about is one that I think a lot of us would like to see everybody on, and that's accepting every difference that there is. It sounds simple. Just accept and live among every person and every different idea that there is, no matter what that person thinks or no matter what that person says. Just let them believe what they want without interference. But then again, if you think about it, some of those differences that people have are the differences and the opinions and beliefs that say that we shouldn't accept differences. So saying that everyone should be allowed to express their opinions and beliefs is in a sense accepting the belief that wants to oppress freedom of speech and expression. And that just shows how many ideas there truly are. And there's really no way to completely dissolve it. It's truly like a paradox of opinions, and it's not the easiest thing to explain. So why is free speech important, other than the basic leisure of not really needing to watch what you say? Well, for one, free speech allows the truth to prevail. The common person is supposed to ultimately believe in and trust the higher authorities, but what are you supposed to do when that higher authority is completely wrong or even corrupt? When subject to tyranny, speaking openly has made some of the biggest changes the world has ever seen. Many people have died trying to expose the truth, but obviously many people have succeeded in standing up and demanding change. We are right here in a classroom in Oregon in the United States of America because a bunch of colonists said we don't want to be part of Great Britain. Free speech makes for a more dynamic society. Again, that's why America has so many ideas within it. That opportunity to spread your idea is basically engraved in our culture. And in itself, free speech is a social good and makes us ultimately more well-rounded beings. So why is free speech so deeply embedded in modern society? And how and why is it so greatly embraced by the general public? Well, as stated by the Washington Post, free speech is a relatively new idea. It has only been available to Americans within the last 6 decades. Free speech Free expression and free speech are absolutely vital to having a successful and progressive democracy. We use free speech on a daily basis without realizing it. We are so used to being able to say exactly what we feel that we don't even think about it anymore. For us, this right that we've gotten so used to is naturally exercised. And I would think that we all agree that it's a good thing. We have free speech, freedom of expression, freedom of press. We can say pretty much whatever we like with few restrictions. I mean, you obviously can't make serious threats or say something to cause mass panic, but we really do have a lot of opportunity in sharing what we think. And according to the Boston Globe, us as students have the exact same free rights, have the exact same free speech rights as we do anywhere else. Free speech is incredibly important. The people that contributed to the U.S. Constitution obviously agreed. It's the very First Amendment. Not that the others aren't as important, but clearly it is at least ranked among the most important things in America. Without the First Amendment, where would we be right now? We would still have segregation. We couldn't practice religion of our choice. The government could literally control everything we see, everything we wear, everything we watch on TV, everything we read. There's people that live like that on a daily basis in other countries. And they could be exactly like us if they just had more basic human rights. How would you feel right now? How would you feel if one day some higher authority told all of us, you are now all Scientologists, and you will only wear long jean shorts and Ed Hardy t-shirts? You can only read pop-up books and watch live Nickelback concerts on TV.
No.
That is literally the type of power that other governments exercise. Maybe not exactly like that, but I'm not too far off. The First Amendment has drawn a boundary between what we know today and that kind of authority. Governments all over the world have literally blocked themselves. Our government and other governments have literally blocked themselves from having that kind of power. Everything as we know it is affected by the First Amendment. It is undeniably crucial to the average American lifestyle. It is very important, and if anybody was to disagree, it is your right to speak up and say so.